Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Nerd. I'm officially doing a post commentary for you guys today. We're going to be talking about the latest patch for the helicopters, and you guys will get to actually see how amazing I am at editing, because I promise you, this is about as good as you're probably ever going to see from me, because my editing skills are on, the same level as probably like a 3 or 4 year old. I don't quite exactly understand exactly everything that's going on the screen, but overall, I think I did a pretty good job. I tried to make it so it wasn't out of proportion. It kind of synchronized a little bit, but overall, I'm sure most of you guys could definitely make something better than this. I just had to kind of, cut and crop and figure out what I was doing, and overall, I guess in my eyes, it turned out okay. It's definitely not something I would show off, in like a setting or a room full of, gamers or something per se, but without further ado, guys, we need to, give you guys the information that you're probably most interested in, exactly what I'm using, and then we'll jump right into the helicopters and the ranting will begin. So I'm going to be playing on Wake Island on Conquest Assault, and don't hold me to it, guys, but I think this is day 1 if I'm correct. Part of me is saying it's day 2, but I think day 2 has a different overall setup. But I think it is day 1, to be honest with you. I'm almost positive on that, because I do see that it's Conquest Assault due to the fact that the Americans have more tickets, and that leads you to saying that it's obviously not Conquest as a standard issue. But overall, that's really it for the map and that kind of game type perspective. But the weapon I use, and I don't think you guys really see it too often, I think at one point it shows it, but just in case you're interested, here you go. It's the G36C with a flash suppressor and a red dot, and most of you guys will understand by this point that the flash suppressor decreases vertical recoil by 50%. I continue to tell you guys that because I cannot stress it enough that that is a way better perk than people give it credit for. I mean, you have a lot of big YouTubers that are like, no, use the heavy barrel, and I'm not calling anyone out. I mean, I watch their videos just as much as probably anyone else, because I use them to, perfect my gameplay and all that stuff, to actually understand the fundamentals of Battlefield 3 to enhance my overall performance in an online setting. But I find that the fact that a majority of maybe you guys probably play on maybe like Xbox or PS3 or something that has to do with a joystick, it's going to benefit you way more than using a heavy barrel, because you're not going to want to increase your vertical recoil. You want to reduce that, do you not? And that's something I try to stress enough. But overall, at the end of the day, if you're using a heavy barrel and it's working for you, dude, that's awesome. Continue to use that. Don't give it up because one, I'm telling you that this is just a better option. If you perform at a higher rate and you're consistent, I mean, power to you. I mean, I can't deal with it. It drives me crazy. It just turns my aim off and disables me from performing at a better rate. But I'll be using the repair tool to heal the helicopter, because I think we get hit by some bullshit stingers when I ECM, and you guys will for sure see it probably 2 or 3 times during this, and it was pretty aggravating, but we'll get right into that here in the next topic. And overall, I'll be using the RPG, the MP443 silenced, which some of you might be shrugging your head and going, why, since the Magnum and the Rex, the R93R are the best in the game, and there's no doubt in that. The 1911, though, is catching up. It's kind of the middle one now. It's that, like, middle baby, like the one that you're like, oh, he's so old, but he's so young. I don't know what to call him, but we're going to call him middle, because that's technically what it is as a classification. Sorry, guys, that probably made no sense why I commented on that, but that was the best thing that came to my mind. So the squad perk's going to be cover, and the reason again, the MP443 silence is, 1, I like to use a silencer on my pistol. For 2, I have a trigger finger so I can shoot the MP443 faster than I can shoot the M9. The M9 jams all the fucking time on me. I swear, I'll shoot it as hard as I can, it'll jam halfway through, and then I'm like, oh, great. So by the time it jams, I'm already dead by somebody with, an M416, a M16A3, all the power weapons, the stuff that you guys have probably already played with or seen hundreds of videos already from today. But that's really all I gotta tell you guys. That's just the main loadout, the main topics, for that specified topic, I guess. That didn't really quite flow as well as I planned to, but we're going to jump into the helicopters, the benefits, the cons of it, the overall thought of my processing abilities to tell you guys what I honestly think, and it's going to get interesting, so let's get started. The helicopters pre-patch. I want to talk about this really quick before I jump in and tell you guys all the pros and cons of the new one. Okay, obviously in this gameplay I'm using the Viper. It's pretty obvious. You guys probably know what it already looks like by now. But the Viper is my favorite helicopter. Okay, it's in my eyes, it's the best. I don't like the Havoc for multiple reasons. It seems like the Russian stuff, if you hit a tree or something, it just blows up, or takes like 90-something damage and then blows up. But I find the Viper to be able to take more hits. Like, if you smack the ground, it's like, bitch, please, I'm okay. If you Havoc hits the ground, it's like, just breaks, self-destructs. You know, maybe it has some C4 or something in it. Those Russians and that C4, you know, I tell you. But overall, the pre-patch helicopter was it was controversial, let's say, okay? The drivers hated it because you did all the work, but you got no points. You only got the assist points because the rockets were so weak. I swear, you would shoot all 14 at an infantry unit, and he would have, like, we'll say 80% health left, or 60, or something ridiculous, you know? It was pointless to even shoot. And not every map has a vehicle on it, you know what I mean? Like, not everyone has a fast timer for vehicles. If you play like Karg Island, for example, you're constantly getting bombarded on the Russian side. You have, what is it, 2 LAVs, an Amtrak, 2 boats, helicopter, a jet. I think that's right. Maybe it's 3 LAVs, I don't remember. But overall, I mean, you're getting crushed over and over again. And, you know, it's unfortunate, but it's kind of the law of physics in this game. So overall, with them only having one tank to take on multiple things, it kind of leaves the helicopter at that point. It left it to be a beast for taking out their vehicle because they were screwed. Now, of course, the jet would always piss you off and come and smack into you because that's what jet pilots do these days. But overall, if you were, let's say the jet was gone and you were just going for the tank, yeah, you had no problem getting that thing. Unless you got lucky with his canister shells and just raped your face. But that didn't happen a whole lot with me. It was usually the stupid javelin SOFLAM glitch shit. Now, I know it's not a glitch for everyone wondering, but in my eyes, it's the cheapest tactic in the game. It's even worse than using the M16A3 at its prime, but, you know, whatever. I'm not going to complain too much on it because at that point, the what do you call them? The gunner had flares, so if they were using stingers, they were fucked, no matter how you looked at it. So how does this compare to what the helicopter is now? The helicopter now, in my eyes, and oh my god, I've gotten more messages talking about the helicopter than you can imagine. The helicopter is pretty useless now. I'm going to be pretty honest with you guys on this one, alright? I'm going to give you the facts to back it up, of course, but the helicopter is not as effective as it once was. The helicopter could do so much more, and you didn't have to worry all the time about every lock. If you got locked on, let's say I'm driving and you're my passenger, okay? You're my gunner. I would ECM, we'd GTFO, we'd come back, you would have flares next, I would ECM, you know, and then we'd strafe run on them. You'd either strafe run them, do a death spin, any of that kind of stuff, you know, a circle on a strafe circle or whatever. But now, I mean, you can't do that stuff anymore. It's pretty much out of the game. And for all the new guys, maybe joining Battlefield right now, or maybe you don't like the helicopter, but you've been getting into it now, I really feel sorry for you. Like, from the bottom of my heart, I feel terrible that they did this to you guys, because if you don't have, you know, ECM, you don't have TV missiles, I mean, you're pretty much done. The game's not going to be any fun for you guys. You're pretty much going to either A, have to buy the little package that unlocks everything for you, or you're going to have to get really lucky, and the other team has got to be the most retarded players you'll ever play in your life. Because if there's anyone in there that's a colonel, I can guarantee that they're going to be running engineer, and they're going to be shooting your ass out of the sky on, you know, anything. And for example, this gameplay, I don't think we've gotten to it yet, but it's coming up soon. At least I hope so. There's one point where we're all the way on the other side of the island, and this Stinger missile follows us under a bridge and around a corner, and thank God it hit a tree. Or, well, I ECM'd and then it hit the tree. But I swear, it went from island to island, or, I don't know, basically the other side of the map. Flew all the way across the freaking middle and just, I mean, it would have raped us if my ECM didn't come back. We would have been fucked. But, you know, that's mainly all I got to say. I got to tell you guys, of course, what the pre-patch information is, or post-patch, I'm sorry. The pros, if you're a driver, this is probably your favorite thing, your favorite thing ever. The missiles now have more damage. They're not as good as they used to be when the game first came out, but they're definitely not as bad as they were now, or, you know, a couple of days ago. Before, they were horrible. You couldn't get a kill to save your fucking life. I swear, you shoot all 14 of them, and the guy would be like, huh, you know, you're funny. Quit shooting at me. But now, if you shoot infantry units, it takes, I'd say, probably about 6 to 10 or something. So it's not overpowered in my eyes, but it's definitely not ridiculously underpowered either. obviously there's cons to the new helicopter, and I'm sure most of you know about them. As of, if you watched my video yesterday, you were probably informed of flares are now taken away from the gunner. And in a sense, I understand why they did this, but at the same point, I'm still confused because they did increase the Stinger's range, and if the Stinger has more range, it hits you in one hit and you are done. I mean, you'll go to instant disable and 88 damage, decrease in health, so it means 22 health left, or you'll either just self-destruct and blow up. So hopefully, you're always wishing for that first one. The second one happens in this gameplay, and we were confused, I guess you could say. But also, the helicopters now do not have below radar. Below radar does not exist anymore. They took it out of the game completely, which was stupid because that means the helicopter is the only vehicle in this game that does not have a permanent upgrade. The tanks have the CIV TV station. The LAV has... man, I can't even think of what it is now. But anyway, the LAV has a bunch of stuff. Or I guess you can't really count the Humvees and buggies. They don't have anything, but they're also not really classified as, per se, you know, an attack weapon or anything. They're just more like transports. But overall, I find it to be really lame, to be honest. I miss the old helicopter. I'd rather not be able to kill anyone with the rocket pods than have the ability for one increase in damage. I mean, is that really going to make a difference? No, it's not. If you're constantly having to stay out of the Stinger's range, I mean, honestly, you best just be playing on the ground, or you're wasting your time in the helicopter now. And that's why I said I'm so sorry for the guys that don't have the opportunity to level it up like, you know, the year that we had when it wasn't all fucking horrible and piece of shit. But, you know, overall, the patch was interesting. I played a little bit to understand what's going to work and what they really ruined. And, you know, I'll put up a tank video here soon, and I really want to discuss that because that's probably the one that made me the most mad. The tanks are not, they're definitely not as good as they once were, let's put it that way. You could get some nasty headshots with that canister shell, and I pretty much just gave you guys exactly what it's about, but overall, you guys will see in that video that my true colors will come out on how much I hate this patch for that one reason. But DICE did an amazing job with balancing weapons. Now, some of you might bring up the M417 or 6 is still overpowered, you know, it's the new god gun, it's the best gun in the game. To you, I would say, yes, you're correct on that category, but at the same time, look what other guns got increased. Look at the reload timers. Just because that gun reloads faster than the previous M16A3's reload, it's 1.7 seconds or 6.5, sorry, can't remember the exact digits, but overall it reloads faster than the M16, but at the same time, it's still not going to win against an AEK in close quarters. Everything now has its place. If you want to use the AEK, I'm not saying you can't use it in big maps, but you're going to have to play more tactical. You can't be like, hey, I'm going to run in this field and shoot this sniper on the tower on Caspian border. Fortunately, you'll probably get really lucky if you do get him, but it's probably not going to happen. So, you know, obviously the scout helicopters got changed as well. I guess I'll talk about this real quick because this is kind of big as well. The fourth seat, which is the co-pilot seat, now has the SOFLAM thing, the laser designator, to simplify that even more. But I honestly am kind of mad about that. I think that's really stupid because that was the whole reason to use the two little trick things to take out the other helicopter was the what do you call it, laser designator and the anti-ground, or, you know, air-to-ground missile or whatever. I can't think of what it's called. Maybe guided missile, that actually might be it. But overall, I just found it that setup was way better than using the stupid air-to-air missiles. That was the whole point, you know what I mean? You gave up air radar, you gave up so much to be able to laser designate targets. Well, in a sense, you were helping your team. You were benefiting more than just one user. It's not like, oh, hey, look, I'm in a helicopter. I'm going to own that, you know, Tunguska on Narsh Canals. That's not exactly how it worked. It didn't work that well. If it worked that well, then maybe I would understand their argument in patching that, but it wasn't that powerful. So overall, you know, again, the vehicles got really screwed in this patch, and I'm presuming that they're going to fix them in the next one because, you know, that's just how DICE says they like to beta test everything. Let's be honest, you know, Battlefield 3, amazing game. I still love it more than pretty much a lot of games. Call of Duty, you're interesting some days, but Battlefield 3 is still my cup of tea, per se. So that's just all I got to say about that matter. I wanted to make sure you guys understood my main arguments or my main opinion. Now, if you guys love using the attack helicopter / scout helicopter, power to you. I mean, I'm not saying that they're unusable. I'm just saying they're not as good as they once were. And for any veteran players that can pull off really good things now, I don't even want to imagine how good you were before. So, yeah, that's really all I got to talk about. And I want to talk about something really quick before this gameplay comes to a close, because unfortunately it's hurrying up really fast. So, guys, I want to know your honest opinion. I've been thinking about this about the last 30 hours mainly. So, I want to start up a new series that's kind of copying in a sense, but it won't have the same title, not the same tags. It's in a sense the same, but he's not obviously the first person that's done it either. There's more people that have done it before him. But anyway, the point I want to make is I want to do something like a helicopter gameplay where me and a friend team up in a helicopter and, destroy the other team. We take out tanks, we do call-outs, we do, and I want to show you guys really how effective you can be on this new helicopter. I mean, as much as I just bashed it, I really want to try to persuade you guys, in a sense, to use it and not be afraid of how bad it actually, sounds like I'm making it. It's still the same helicopter that we love, but at the same time, the gunner doesn't have flares, and there is no such thing as below radar, which kind of makes it a little bit more difficult to use, but you can still break locks by going, behind buildings, taking cover, ECM, all that good stuff. But, yeah, just let me know, guys, and I'm hoping you guys will give me a response, letting me know, yes, that's a good idea, I'd be interesting, or no, it's not something I'd want to see. If you guys are wondering how long it would probably be chopped up like this. One, we're probably going to be waiting for the helicopter, and two, obviously, you guys aren't going to want to sit there and watch me, go the timer and when I die and stuff like that. I'll show how I died, but I'm not going to give you guys the full, hey, let's sit here for 40 to 50 seconds so you guys can watch our chat in between. Like, that's not going to occur. So it'll be something like this. My editing skills will still suck, and unfortunately that's just how it's going to stay until, one, I develop a better editing, career. I guess that's how you place it. But, wow, I said again. I'm sorry. For all you guys that say, or let me know that I say a lot, I'm so sorry, but it's really late at night, and that's kind of what's popping out of my mouth right now. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to sign off, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. This is Nerd Mode On, signing off. Peace, guys.